Did you guys know about the Creature Crate Patreon? Every month you'll get amazing files that you can make, like this Donkey Kong, this dragon, this robot tech scarab, this Cerberus, or this super cool set of Bulbasaurs. You can also sell the prints from these files as an authorized seller. Join the Creature Crate Patreon now. Link is in the description below. Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here, and in this 3D Print Profits episode is going to be a little different. I have with me an expert and a good friend of mine, Cody Berman, actually the host of the Fi Show. Cody, say what's up, man.
What's going on, Nico?
So I invited Cody here because Cody also started his other business venture, which is Gold City Ventures, and they teach how to make passive income selling digital files on Etsy. So for you designers, you creatives who 3D model either using Blender, Fusion 360, Maya, ZBrush, Nomad Sculpt, whatever, you guys can take your creations and your files and you guys can sell them on Etsy. But the thing is, just because you put them up on Etsy doesn't mean they're going to buy it. So Cody's going to help us help you guys build your business so you guys can start making passive income. So Cody, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We just kind of were catching up before and hadn't realized how long it's been since we talked.
Yeah, dude, it's been what, 3 years since you and I talked, since I was on your show, on the Fi Show. And so welcome to my show that I started now. This is really cool, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy to drop as much value as possible. And hopefully, as we start to dig into this a little bit, can help your listeners and audience figure out how they can monetize on Etsy as well as wherever else they're selling their digital files.
Absolutely. All right, so let's start off here. So what should people think about, and what is the first thing that they should consider when they're selling digital assets on Etsy?
Usually if someone, especially if they already have a niche, like it sounds like most of your audience does, they might be creating, like you do, and they might be creating like superheroes and stuff, or they might be creating in some other niche. Just go on Etsy and get a feel for the platform. I feel like with any platform, whether that's, creating something to sell on Etsy or you're going to start on TikTok, like you have to understand the platform before you start creating products for it. So go see what's already existing in your space, see what people are buying, see what price points are, see how they're positioning their products, see how they're titling their products and all that stuff, just to give you a general feel of, okay, I'm already doing this on my website, or I'm already doing this on Shopify. How are people doing the same thing on Etsy? And then use that as kind of a baseline for where you can jump off from.
Gotcha. So say I'm selling toys on Etsy, right? What would my actionable thing be for getting a feel for the platform?
So let's assume I'm just going to take you as an example. Like you already have these files created, you already have products, you already have the store. It's just relisting. I mean, you probably, if you're already selling on like Shopify, you already have a title, you already have a description, you already have listing images for these products. It's as simple as just like shifting it over to Etsy. And now what I will say, I know you mentioned before a couple of minutes ago that, you don't just like put it on Etsy and sales come flooding in, but that does happen a lot more often on Etsy than it does on a platform like Shopify or like your own website. Because if you're trying to get people to a Shopify store or your own website, you need to do marketing. Like you need to have an active social media presence. You need to be spreading through word of mouth. But Etsy has 90 million active users who are constantly on the platform just looking to buy. It's like throwing something up on Amazon versus selling it on your own website. Yeah, maybe, Amazon is taking a little bit of a cut and Etsy takes a little bit of a profit cut. But there's just so many people on there that you can, reach a much larger audience much easier.
Gotcha. So when it comes to the listing, what is the most important thing that you should worry about when it comes to digital assets? Because when you list something up like a physical product, right? A picture of the product where it's being used, out in the open, a Coke can for scale. I know photos are the eye catcher when it comes to physical products, but for digital assets, what is it exactly that people should be focusing on as far as their listing goes?
So we could definitely just spend an hour on just this, but I'll just hit on the high level stuff because you're exactly right. And it's the same thing with digital products as it is with physical products. That thumbnail, that hero image, that first thing that the person sees when they're scrolling down on Etsy, that has to catch their eye. Because you could have the best product in the world, but if you don't stand out on page one, of Etsy, when someone searches for whatever the thing is that you make, they're not going to click in and they're not going to read about the awesome thing that you've created. So you really need to spend a lot of time, like an inordinate amount of time, on that one main picture, rather than just like making sure you have like 10 listing pictures, or making sure everything in the description is perfect, or even the title, because honestly, people are just looking at the pictures and are probably going to click from that. Now, what I will say though is that title is also really, really important, because in order to show up on page one, and so people even see that thumbnail in the first place, you need to have some semblance of an idea about SEO, search engine optimization. It's the same exact game that is played on Google, on YouTube. You're trying to make sure that you're hitting on the keywords that people are searching for. So if someone is searching for, I see you have the Iron Man mask behind you. If someone is searching for like retro Iron Man mask digital file, like you want to make sure all of those words are in the title of that product. If you just have like Iron Man mask, maybe you won't be getting the people that are looking for like the retro or the digital file. Like you want to have every single long tail keyword in that title so that you get the right buyers, because the last thing you want is a bunch of traffic, a bunch of people click in and then they realize, you know what, this isn't the product I was looking for. And maybe that's your fault because your title is wrong, or your thumbnail isn't as explanatory as it might be. It doesn't exactly showcase that, oh, hey, this is a digital file. This is the exact thing you're looking for. So you just want to be as clear and, I guess, explanatory as possible when you're listing this stuff.
Now, is there a limit to how long this title should be? Because you don't want it to be like a full paragraph on the title, but you just have to be long enough, but also concise, right?
Yeah. So on Etsy, it's a 60 character limit, I believe, on the title. But what's most important is those like first 4 or 5 words, because Etsy doesn't, like, when you're scrolling down, for those who have been on Etsy, you're not going to see a 60 character listing. Like it just doesn't happen. They usually cut like the first 3, or you get to see the first 3, 4 or 5 words, depending on how long those words are. And then the rest of the title is just cut off until you click into that product. So those first like 4 or 5 words, I would say, are the most important. So again, with the retro Iron Man mask digital file, like you want to make sure, if that is the search term that you're going after, that you're competing on, that people are searching for, you want to make sure those are your first 5 words in that title. And then you can add other stuff afterward, like maybe it's in a specific program, or maybe it's a specific color or whatever. But if those aren't the primary things that people are going to be searching for that digital product, then put those later on in the title and get the important stuff up front.
So what about keywords? I know we're allowed 13, right?
For tags, you're talking about.
So tags, okay. Yes. So tags. How important are tags in the listing?
So tags are kind of like an accessory to the title. So the title is the main thing that the Etsy search engine is going to pull. But if there's extra things that don't fit in your title, or maybe like an ancillary thing to your product, like it's not exactly what the person's looking for, but I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head. It's kind of hard. I was going to try to go with Iron Man thing. Okay, let's say you don't have superhero in your title, but like in your tags, you could have superhero file or superhero digital art. Whereas like you probably wouldn't have that in the title of, like, if you're just having a digital Iron Man mask. Like it's too general to want to put that in, because again, you want to go after the long tail keyword and making sure that people are, finding exactly what they're looking for. But tags are where you can kind of put that extra stuff that, just in case maybe someone is just searching for a superhero digital file, some kind of a superhero mask. Maybe they weren't thinking Iron Man directly, but then they come across your listing, they see this awesome Iron Man mask. They're like, okay, even though I searched for superhero digital file, I found this Iron Man one, boom, and they purchase it. So tags is kind of where you can get the bonus keywords added in, where people might not be searching directly for that thing, but it's something related.
Okay, so it's more like a category then.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're just kind of like funneling people to whatever product that you're selling. Anything that's somewhat related, that's where you throw the extra tags in.
And you, okay, you guys, I say this in my course, use all 13.
Oh yeah.
Don't keep, I can't think of any more, I'm just going to stop at 11. No, you're leaving money on the table when you do that, right? And I'm sure, so Cody has a course that teaches you guys how to really make passive income using selling digital files on Etsy. And we're going to link that in the description below. But use all 13. I say it, I guarantee you Cody's going to tell you to do the same thing.
Oh yeah. You definitely, because you never know, Nico. Like You could have 12 tags that do absolutely nothing. And the cool thing about Etsy, and we cover this in our course, and I'm sure those who sell on Etsy know this, you can actually click into a listing that's selling and you can see what tags are bringing people to that listing. And sometimes it's like the weirdest tag that you'd never expect. And, that might have been the one that you left out because you're like, oh, you know what? I'm good with 10 or I'm good with 5. And no, you want to use all 13 because you never know it's going to hit. And this is just entrepreneurship in general. Like it's just trial and error. You might think you have the best product ever, but until you tweak one thing, until you change that thing about your listing picture or add that word to the title or add that tag, that could be the thing that makes it blow up.
Are there tips and tricks in this course that people are going to just absolutely love and skyrocket their passive income?
I think the biggest thing, the biggest competitive edge we have is we have a really big focus on keyword research. So a lot of people in our space creating digital products and digital downloads and printables on Etsy, they come from an artistic background. So like most of the course is focused on just creation, making things look pretty, making things look nice. And of course we talk about that too, because you're not going to sell unless it isn't.
Right.
But me and my business partner, Julie, we both come from like personal finance background, financial independence, business building. So we come at it from a profit first standpoint. So we're like, don't even bother making this thing. Like, even if you could make the most beautiful thing in the world, if the keyword volume isn't there, if people aren't searching for this thing, like if you can't compete, then don't even bother. So we really put a heavy focus on like keyword research and SEO, making sure that you're actually creating the right product first, and then you can make sure that it's, really pretty and perfect and all those things that a lot of other people in our space focus on.
There you go. There you go. So let's talk about the description here a little bit. I wrote down in my notes, does description carry any weight when it comes to SEO and being found by the Etsy algorithm?
Great question. And that actually just changed 2 months ago. Etsy announced that they're now scraping descriptions for SEO and ranking purposes. So if we had this podcast a few months ago, I probably would have said no, I don't think so. But now they've come out and explicitly said that keywords in the description now count toward Etsy SEO.
Well, the Etsy gods have blessed us, haven't they?
Absolutely. Anything that we can do. Yeah.
So description, what should we put in the description then as far as listing goes so we can get picked up by the algorithm?
So I guess the description is like your next line of defense after like the title and the tags. Those are the things that are going to get people to your product. People are only going to really read the description if they've already given you that initial 5-second glance and they're like, okay, I think this product is right for me, but let me read more about it. This is where you talk about things like maybe the type of file that it is. And I don't know in your specific niche, Nico, I don't know what like file types you're working with, but for me, like let them know if it's a PDF or a JPEG or an SVG. Let them know like printing directions if it's something they're gonna print out potentially. Let them know if it's like, again, if it's a printable, what size paper they might need. That could be a letter, A4, A5, probably not as applicable in the superhero mask digital file space, but anything that you can, let them know about, any questions that you could possibly think that this person's going to have, because you're going to have people coming to you who are newbies, people who are experienced. For the newbies who have never maybe done this before, whether that's, 3D printing something or, creating a printable or buying a printable, you want to be as explicit as possible. So description is just kind of where you lay everything out. You tell them exactly what they're getting. You tell them how it's printed or how it's used. You tell them the file type. You tell them, all that stuff. You have also another important thing, little bonus lesson here is to have your copyright in there. So say like, this is property of whatever the name of your shop is. You cannot resell this product, yada, 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 just so you're protected there. But yeah, the description is like the next line of information where they've gotten past the first two gatekeepers, the listing picture, and then the titles and tags with the keyword research stuff. And then the description is where you just like give them all the meat. You let them know exactly what they're getting.
Gotcha. So when they start your course, I'm really interested in your course now. When they start your course, what can they expect?
So it's kind of just like soup to nuts, walking you through the entire process from brainstorming ideas and then, doing the keyword research on those brainstormed ideas to actually going in and creating digital products, whether that's just a straight up digital product that someone is purchasing to use in their computer, or we also focus on printables a lot, like calendars, planners, invitations, that type of stuff. And then the marketing piece. So this is like going back and doing all the A/B testing, kind of the, fail and repeat, the entrepreneurship lessons. What works, what doesn't, going back, looking at your Etsy stats, looking at data, figuring out how to, market on different channels outside of Etsy, if you choose to do that, how to build a website. Yeah, there's so much stuff in there. Then we have a bunch of bonus lessons on like taking it off Etsy, because we have people, of course, who just start crushing it and they're like, where else can I sell this stuff? So we have, bonus lessons on Shopify, on Teachers Pay Teachers, on WooCommerce. It's pretty extensive, because now we've had the course for over 3 years. So it's just
Wow.
continuously gotten iterated on and iterated on. And at this point, we've had like almost 8,000 students go through the course. And it's just been, getting feedback, adding to the course, re-recording videos, figuring out exactly what works. And now at this point, doing this for 3 years, we have like a super dialed in roadmap for people to follow. And so they allows them to get success pretty quickly.
Dude, that's pretty awesome, man. So let's talk about keyword research here a little bit. Is there anything that we're going to need as far as keyword research go? I know eRank is one of those things that one of the tools that a lot of Etsy shops use to rank, hey, what are people on Etsy looking for? And let me make that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised well, I guess you're in this space. Most people don't know eRank. That's usually like the one I have in my back pocket that I pull out on podcasts and people ask about keyword research. eRank is fantastic. And what it does is basically it's just scraping Etsy data and trying to put together a semblance of, okay, this is how much traffic this keyword is getting. This is how much competition there is. They actually go and like analyze your shop, and they'll score you based on like what titles and tags you're using and your pictures and all that stuff. eRank is awesome. Also outside of eRank though, there's a lot of just like, because eRank there's a free version, but the version I use does cost money. But there's like kind of just free ways to capitalize on different trends and keyword research. Like you can go on Google Trends, trends.google.com. You can also go on Pinterest Trends, because a lot of people who are searching on Pinterest are Etsy shoppers. It's just a really high correlation of buyers there. There's Uber Suggest. That's a free tool by Neil Patel. Keywords everywhere. There's just like a ton of these different resources at your disposal. And here's another one. Just type into the Etsy search bar. Like if you're thinking of selling something, this goes back to that first thing I was saying, Nico. If you're thinking of selling something and you want to see like how other people are titling their stuff, how other people are positioning these products, just start typing in like, Iron Man mask into the Etsy search bar, see what shows up. If Iron Man mask digital file is like one of the first things up there, that's how a lot of other people are like positioning that listing. And it's probably something that a lot of people are searching for. So there's just so many different ways. But yeah, eRank is a great one, but there's also, a dozen other ones that, yeah, we do cover them in the course. But, if you're listening to this podcast now, you at least have a little step into our world.
Dude, you guys, I'm telling you, Cody's course, my wife has a course in this. That's why, you guys get the course. Just get it. I'm telling you, get it. Cody will teach more about Etsy than I ever could. The dude is a badass. The dude is an expert.
Thanks, man.
So there's this stigma, right? That Etsy is predominantly women, with men slowly catching up. If men were to sell on Etsy, how would that work as far as the marketing goes?
It really goes back to market research and SEO and keyword research. I can't speak to everyone who's listening and say like just blanket advice, this is how you should market. It totally depends on your niche. Like if your niche is predominantly women, which some are, and some are predominantly men, you just got to know that by doing the research, seeing how other sellers listings look. Like maybe having a different looking listing is going to be a huge differentiator, and it's actually going to get you traffic. Or maybe, if you're trying to sell in the planner space and you have this like black planner with skulls all over it, probably not going to sell too well, because the majority of people buying planners on Etsy are women. Like that's probably not going to sell. So you really just need to kind of know your target market, and then, cater the advertising, the marketing, the look, the design, the feel that way.
Gotcha. And so that's really it for me, man. There's a lot of tons of good information in just 20 minutes worth of time, 15, 20 minutes worth of time. Cody, where can they find this course that we've been talking about so far?
Well, I think the best thing, Nico, is for you to just drop a link in the description. I will give you special links for your audience, which will give them a special bonus. And also, actually, I'll also give you a special link to give your audience that will give them free access to our ebook. It's called this. Oh yeah. We didn't talk about this too much, but so the ebook's called The Seasonal Product Secret. And I didn't really say my like come up story, but like When I first got started on Etsy, this is a few months after I got started, I was like, my strategy was, okay, I'm going to chase these seasonal trends. And, I guess, the strategy there was, I know that there's already going to be increased keyword volume for like Valentine's Day stuff in February, for example, or increased volume for Christmas stuff in December. So I made a ton of stuff for February in January. So I had like probably 20 or 25 digital products that I created. It was like love notes and invitations and Valentine's Day cards, all this random stuff. And come February, 2 or 3 of them just absolutely took off. And I was actually on a ski trip that week, didn't even have my laptop with me, and ended up making over $800 that week from these 2 digital products that I had spent like 2 or 3 hours creating.
Dude,
each.
that's awesome. Wait, was it the Phi convention here in Tahoe?
Yeah, it was a FinCon ski trip.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was your at FinCon. Nick Loper was here. I was trying to make that event.
Dude, it was amazing. Yeah, I was literally on the ski lift with Nick Loper, and I had my I'm not kidding. Nick Loper and Dustin Heiner were on the ski lift with me. I had my phone on loud because I was expecting a call from someone. And so on Etsy, you get the cha-ching sound when you make sales. My phone kept going cha-ching while we're going up the ski lift. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And so we went in for lunch and I checked my phone. And I think this was like February 9th or 10th. And I had like $125 in sales from this one product. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Dude.
So that was like my origin story. That's why I got so bullish on Etsy and digital products. And yeah, so long story short, now I have this free ebook that kind of tells you how to capitalize on seasonal trends. And Nico, I'll give you a special link that you can give to your audience to get it for free.
You guys, okay, this is going to be packed with so much good information. You guys, Cody and I will do a little bonus section talking about origin stories and the podcast and other stuff. But dude, that's awesome, man. So you guys are going to get free ebook. You guys are going to get bonus lessons for watching the show. Holy cow, dude, that's awesome, man.
Trying to bring it, Nico. I want your audience to succeed.
Me too. That's why I did this, man. You guys, there's so much food on the table, and Cody and I just want everybody can eat, man. Everybody can eat. There's
plenty of room for everyone. Yeah.
I agree. So before we go, I wanted to talk about the limitations of Etsy, because you can't upload something that's more than 25 megabytes as far as a deliverable. Do you know about anything that's going to increase that file size, or is it going to stay at 25?
That's a good question. Yeah. So what we do is, like, when I'll deliver something that's over 25, I have this like PDF template basically. And right in the center of the page, it just has a big download button. So they buy my digital product on Etsy. If it's over 20 megabytes, they get this PDF, and on the PDF, it has a big download button. That download button brings them directly to a Dropbox folder with all the stuff in there, which has no limit whatsoever, because I have like 2 terabytes or something on Dropbox. So that's the workaround. People will link to Dropbox or Google Drive or some other file hosting service. You can even like host it on your website. But yeah, that's kind of the easy workaround. It's just have a PDF download for when they buy the product on Etsy, and then on that page be like, hey, thanks for buying from me. Download your files. Click this button. It's this
is
button.
there Do you have any issues with people, just sharing that link, because it's an open Dropbox link, right? Do you have people have problems sharing that link to other people, or is it just kind of like, hey, it comes with the territory?
It comes with the territory. I mean, it's really hard with anything like this to control link sharing. You just hope that people aren't gonna, even though of course I know, maybe some people are. There's really nothing you can do. It's the same with like selling online courses. Online courses has become a big revenue stream for me and something I've become really passionate about. Do I hope that people aren't just sharing passwords with each other? Yes. But do I think there are some people doing that? Of course. There's nothing you can do. It's just something you gotta, it's kind of like just building shrink into your business and knowing that it's going to happen.
Gotcha. Dude, so much info, so much good stuff. The marketing, the keywords, the E-rank, all of that. You guys, Cody, thank you for being on the show. Huge thanks to you for everything that you're going to do. For everybody that's listening right now, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Hopefully people get those, the freebie, the ebook, and the special discount and the bonuses and all the cool stuff we're giving them.
Look at that. You guys spoiled. You guys are spoiled. All right. Later, Cody.
Later.
Shit. All right. So you were at SkiCon when all this shit was happening?
Yeah. So it was a few months after FinCon. It was like a group of 30 of us. We rented out this lodge on Lake Tahoe. We skied heavenly, and that's kind of where all
Dude,
the
you were
Etsy magic
down the
happens.
road. That's so funny, man.
Yeah,
Dude.
small world. I didn't even know you were that close.
Yeah, dude. So shout out to Nick. Nick moved up to Washington. Is it Washington or Oregon? I think it's Washington.
Yeah. Yep.
Nick moved up to Washington. I'm trying to get back on his podcast, kind of like Where Are They Now episode, man. And, been on your guys' podcast. One of the greatest experiences ever. It was just so much fun talking to you and Justin, man.
We had a blast. Yeah, I know a lot of people really enjoyed that episode. It's cool to see that you just continued to crush.
Dude. And I think that your course, your Gold City Ventures course, came around that time when I was on your podcast. Because it was 3 years ago.
So your podcast was June 2020. We launched our course in, it's a year difference. We launched the course in June 2019.
I don't think I was June 2020, dude. I think I was before.
I mean, I just looked it up on our website. Yeah, we got the dates here.
Dude, awesome, man. Dude, that's so cool, man. This is such a small world.
It really is.
When is FinCon? Are you gonna go to FinCon?
I am gonna go to FinCon. Yeah. Staying in Orlando, then going to Universal for a few days after, and should be good.
Getting out of Florida this time.
Yeah, it's in Orlando. It's literally a mile and a half from Disney.
Oh, and when is it? I'm gonna put that down.
September 7th through the 10th, I believe.
Are there still tickets?
I think so. Yeah. Should be.
Oh man.
I don't think they sell out. They just get incrementally more expensive the later you buy them. Like if you buy them right when they go on sale, they're way cheaper than if you buy them.
September? It's usually in the wintertime.
No, it's always been in September.
Has it? I always thought it was in wintertime, like a Tahoe, so everybody can just go.
No, yeah, it's been September for the last 5 or 6 years.
So what is the one in the wintertime in Tahoe?
That was just a ski. They called it Ski Con. It was just like a ski retreat.
No kidding, because I know
that was just like 30 people.
A bunch of podcasters go, like you, Nick, a whole bunch of people just go up there, and I'm like, dang, I want to go up there and just hang out.
Yeah, we were supposed to go last year, but of course, COVID had other plans.
COVID had other plans. That dang COVID.
I know.
Awesome, man. That's so badass, bro.